good morning to all of you. We are breaking new ground here because with BC addressing the principals on, we had a similar session with the secretaries, but today it's academicians day, and the VC is able to address all the principals in a very important juncture where we are disrupted by the lockdown, and the education paradigm itself is getting disrupted. It's a great moment. I think principals and the leadership from the VC is fantastic. I think as a group of institutions, we are doing a wonderful job in terms of accommodating to the new trends. In this scenario, once more, I welcome the VC for agreeing to address the entire principals community today. And we will start the session with the inaugural address by our secretary, association secretary, Mr. Seth. Welcome address by Seth, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Mankind is always known for its zeal for surviving. Human race has witnessed the calamities created by both the nature and by self. Yet mankind has never failed to strike a comeback. My dear brothers, today we are all gathered in a rather uncommon situation. Nature is free at its own, but we humans are tangled in the name of Corona. Let us not consider this as an end. It is our tryst with destiny. Let us make the uncommon situation as the opportunity to acquire knowledge. Our learned principles of various institutions are the cynosure of the day. No wonder with their abundant knowledge, they are going to enthrall us all in the upcoming days through the webinar series. Amidst us, we have our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. P. Kaliraj, whose motivation is the trigger behind our endeavor. Sir, I sincerely welcome you. Also, I welcome all the management members, secretaries, principals, and faculties to this session. Through this webinar, let us assert the fact that we are physically quarantined, but not our thoughts. We are separated, but not our dreams. We are isolated, but not our quest for learning. Let us make this webinar as a beautiful canvas tinctured with the colors of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sethupathi. Thank you, everyone. And I welcome all the principals and some of the secretaries, faculty members, and subject experts.
Yeah.
It's nice to note that the Corona-19 made us to go for this kind of meeting, which doesn't involve travel from distance to the airport, then waiting in the airport, and so many things. So people are able to accept the modern technology, like, Zoom meeting, then various other kind of meeting like Google Meet and all. If you just look into the endemic or pandemic, it is not a new thing. Only thing is we are not exposed to the endemic situation or pandemic situation for the last 100 years. If you just look into the 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, before the innovation of many vaccines, in many countries, there was a problem like, by smallpox. Smallpox was affecting throughout the world. Then, Spanish influenza virus and so many pandemic things. And several countries, including UK or any European countries, got locked down indefinitely for several months because of the pandemic situation. There was no place for burying a body and a place to cremate and that kind of situation. But, we were having comfortable situation for the last 100 years or 150 years. So that's the reason that we are panic. Otherwise, we would have been making it. If there is any other pandemic, we are going to be used to this. We will be very much happy for that. Take, for example, tsunami. When the tsunami came, everybody thought it is something new. It is not new. The tsunami was there even much before that. And now we have been exposed once a few years back. Now, even if there is another tsunami, we will not get panic. Similarly, like COVID also, only thing is we are going to change our lifestyle. Now you could see even in the education, we are changing our change of style of functioning by the faculty members, style of functioning by the Vice Chancellor, style of functioning of the assessment of the academic institutions for giving the affiliation and board meetings, board of studies meeting, and so on. Two things I would like to tell. We already accepted that, we have to go for almost like 70% classroom learning and 30% online learning, or even we can, change it depending on the situation of that, depending on the course also. And if you just look into the school education, you have to go for 80% classroom learning, 20% learning through the media. And if you go for the higher education, then, you have to go for either 60-40 or 80-20 or something, depending on the course and the type of meeting you're going to have. The only thing I would like to tell that don't get panic because of the endemic or pandemic, because we have to live with that. When there is a problem, then we have to face it. We are facing, and successfully we are coming out of that. If you just look into Paradya University, we are working with the social distance, and many people are working with anything between 20 to 30% of supporting staff. Many people are working from home, and Board of Studies, the initiation has gone, and we are also changing a pattern of recognition of the institute, and also for initiating some new courses. As I told in the last meeting, many of you were there, we would like to go for starting some new courses, because there is no point in sticking to the old course. Some other course might get obsolete. They might not be getting any job if they are completing that particular course. There are so many things are coming, like cyber security, then artificial intelligence, and we can have it like a new course, or as such, we decided in the Board of Studies, all the syllabus will be incorporated with Education 4.0 as well as Education 5. That you already decided, and many people appreciated that. And the university will take utmost care to make sure that no affiliated institution is getting affected just because of the drastic change in the mode of the syllabus as well as the mode of teaching. And we will be also training the teachers who are going to face the situation for the Education 4 and all. I'm very happy that the association is very active. Only thing is, my concern is this action should be throughout Tamil Nadu. I hope you might have reached people, since you are doing it by webinar. People from other university, the affiliated institutions from other universities also will be benefited because of this meeting. And I'm happy that, a lot of meetings are going on, at least weekly twice the meeting is going on. And many of the people are behind our Ajit. Ajit is the one, but there are so many people. They are behind him and they are supporting him in terms of giving moral support and support through, supporting the organizing the meeting and all. Rathinam College, the owner, that is CEO, was here, and he was telling that he's ready to give any kind of support, not only to that, even to the university. And I would like to tell that it is a learning process. It's not like only the university department will dictate and you have to listen everything to us. If there is any good thing from anyone, or autonomous college or affiliate college or even government college, we are ready to listen to you and incorporate in several meetings, Board of Studies or any other higher body also, and also the syndicate. And we also recommended the secretaries of colleges to be the part of the syndicate. Their demand was huge, but we have asked for the acceptable number of things we recommended. I think everything will go on well. Only thing is, the association should be also active in other jurisdiction. Right now, your jurisdiction is only Coimbatore, and Coimbatore is a place, it's a good in academic institutions and with a good interaction. I request Ajit to help the other universities also to making the secretaries of the institution to interact good with the university, and everybody is benefited. I'd like to tell that, a lot of programs being done to teach about psychology of the teachers and what kind of, post-pandemic situation that we are going to have post-COVID. And we have to make the teachers to come out of the crisis, and also they have to get used to that. Now, more than 2-3 months are over. By now, the teachers might have got tuned to the lockdown, and you have to activate them. and to start initiating the teaching process or preparing some academic materials from home, and wherever possible, they should also come to the academic institutions and taking part in various activities. And our university will be very much happy to join with you for any of the programs that we are having. And we are going to send a circular asking for, would you like to have any new courses? And we are ready to accept new courses with a statutory warning. They should not claim that the MSc Cyber Security of Bharatiya University is equal to MSc Microbiology of Bharidas University. That will not happen. You have to make sure MSc Cyber Security is only cyber security. You can't, even equate with, other related subject in computer science also. So we have to be very clear on that and tell the students very clearly, okay, this is a course and where they stand. And tomorrow they should not claim, why you have not, informed us about the equivalence. So whenever we go for the equivalence, we have to give the warning, and this is not equivalent to these things. So that has to be given. And regarding the number of students who are going to be admitted for these things this year, according to me, there won't be any changes, because it is a matter of, even the students are very much bored at home and they're waiting for the exam to start, and they're waiting for coming to the higher studies. So we need not have to bother. The university will give you full support in terms of mode of teaching, and we will discuss with you and we will take the decision. In terms of recognition of the institute for the new courses also, we might do it like AICTE based on the your findings, as well as what you written, that what are the facilities you are having, and we might visit later on as and when there is a need. And it will not affect any of the things. Starting a new course will not affect any of these things just because of the visiting. By now we know about most of the institute, and each institute, they have the responsibility. No institute is going to work for closing their own institute. And if you are not doing well, you are not going to get the student and you are not going to do well. So each one of you have the responsibility to have the best possible method of learning, and there will be flexibility of learning, and there will be new changes in the learning, and the university will take care of that. I wish the members, then the principals and the secretaries all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. This meeting is attended not only by the principal, sir, also by the faculty members. I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor of Bharatiyar University for having accepted to inaugurate this series of webinar session, which is going to be there for around 14 to 16 days, where our learned principals of Bharatiyar University will be addressing the faculty members and the principals on various topics. I don't want to take too much of time, as we have got few more people to talk. And as VC sir said, we are getting absolute support from the administration of the Bharatiyar University for operating the institutions, both at self-financing level, aided college level, and at the government colleges. The present syndicate is also presently working to ensure that there is more transparency and all the colleges are getting the benefit at every level. I would once again thank the Vice Chancellor of Bharatiyar University, the Honorable Secretaries, the Chairmans of colleges, the office bearers of the Association of Self-Financing Colleges, Principals Welfare Cell office bearers, all the principals of the colleges who have been very supportive of this program and who have also agreed to address the teachers of various colleges. And last but least, the teachers of the colleges who are the backbone of the institution, who are participating in this webinar in a large number. I think nearly 300, 400 people have already registered. And we hope that there will be thousands registering in few days from time. As Vice Chancellor said, we are spreading this message throughout Tamil Nadu about these webinar sessions. And we hope that more and more teachers will participate in this session. And after the session is over, all the faculty members and principals who have registered in our Google link will get an e-certificate from the association and PwC. I once again thank everyone for spending the time and also for joining the session. I would request our Mr. Madan Sandil to go to the next part.
Only one point I would like to tell.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
In a short time, you are going to have the web-based training program for all the teachers for getting acquainted with Education 4 and Education 5. I will just inform all the colleges and they can make use of that. Thank you very much.
So VC sir has said
Fantastic.
that daily each university official will be addressing us. Tomorrow, I think the College Development Council, Dr. Lavlina Madam will be addressing. And every day there will be some university official related to affiliated colleges addressing the principals and teachers so that we get motivated and we also don't lose our what to call, because we are going through a very unforeseen circumstances which we are going ahead. So just to give us the strength, the university officials also will be addressing us, sir. I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor also to put in a word to the officials.
The best thing is you ask more question and they themselves will question themselves and they will ask the university officials and they will get used to that. Up till now the system was different. Everything was from the section to the colleges. Now it is also through the deans. So you have to ask more questions so that they themselves will get prepared to help you better. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, the ASM President Ajit sir, Vice Chairman Madan sir, Secretary Sedipati sir, Syndicate members Nityanand sir, Ramamurthy sir, PwC co-convener Subramaniam sir. Happy morning, one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce this session regarding the series of that is to be conducted by the association. The power of silence is in the power of listening. The power of silence is in the power of listening. And this COVID-19 has given every academician and the society to just listen and listen more talking. This is into consideration taking every idea to make the academic people to know more about the filling the vacuum. The association has brought out this webinar series so that the faculty members, principals, and all the academic related people can benefit through this webinar series. And who can be the right person other than the head of the university, the first man of the university, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P. Kaliraj sir. Thank you, sir. This webinar series is to be conducted by the principals of the colleges of Bharathiar University, and it is going to be in a row for all the beneficiaries to say about Bharathiar University. We have more than 100 and above institution that brings around 10,000 faculty members, inclusive of principals and association, has taken right step at the right time and boost the faculty members and the college committee members to further for the betterment of the students community, as well as accepting the reality of the students to emerge with good health and making the environment more accessible for the future generation. Our Association of Self-Financing Arts and Science and Management Colleges of Tamil Nadu has always initial insultation to bring out any idea to the forefront for the benefit of the faculty members in this COVID-19, has taken right decision by introducing this webinar for the benefit of the academic society in our region. Throughout this webinar series, we are here to bring the ideas to create the interest and accommodate themselves to the new learning environment, which has become the need of the hour with great pleasure. I have great pleasure, I have to say that the first man of the university, Professor P. Kaliraj sir, has accepted to give inaugural address and start this and another this web series on Vice Chancellor, extraordinary person who looks down to earth, and at the same time he is a man of always taken all the initiation. At this juncture, I congratulate all the members to begin the success story of this webinar series. Kindly support us, participate all the days. Congratulations to all the management for supporting us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
President, Secretary, and all members of ASFASM and PWC, principals and faculty members of various colleges, a wonderful morning to all. First of all, I extend my sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor for accepting our invitation generously, and he is always encouraging and supporting our colleges in number of ways. Well, beginning will always ends with good success. Today's inauguration is successful only because of our Vice Chancellor's presence. On behalf of our ASFASM and PWC, I convey my humble gratitude to our Vice Chancellor. We have organized a series of webinars for the benefit of all principals and the faculty members. All efforts were taken by the President and Secretary of ASFASM and PWC. I congratulate the people who have worked on for this, and through our participation you can learn better understanding and cooperation between students and teachers across length and breadth of your institution. Let me conclude by wishing that each one of you will carry back some wonderful information that you will cherish for a long time, for a long time to come. Thank you for everyone. Be safe, take care. Thank you very much.
Vice Chancellor and most respected office bearers of association and office bearers of PWC and all my fellow principals and faculty members of this Bharatiya University. I'm happy that the association has come out with a wonderful idea that we have to use our own resources. See, our principals are having a lot of potentials and a lot of the inputs they have to deliver to our own faculty members and all other our own principals. After seeing the topics and the speakers, I wondered that we have not tapped the potential of our own principals so far. So today, the Ajit sir and all office bearers of the association is well thought, and they brought out this potentials which is hidden among the principals. So this will be beneficial. This will go a long way to develop our own education system. I wish this will continue forever, and it will take our education system to the other level, so that we can make use of our own resources, and this will be helpful to not only faculty members but students also for holistic development. At this juncture, as far as the education is concerned, it teaches that it is not living by me, but it is living by all of us. So the usness brought out today at this juncture, I felicitate all of you for having brought out this program, and in future also we can conduct this this kind of programs in future also. There one program is there. Crisis will bring out the best out of the man. So this is the best thing brought out. With these few words, I thank each and every one of you for having given me a wonderful opportunity to talk through online to all of you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, all, and welcome all the principals, management representatives, teachers to the session. At the outset, I would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor for gracing the occasion, Dr. Ajit and his team from ASFASM, and honorable members of PWC, Dr. Chinraj, Mr. Bharat, and all other officials and participants. Indeed, it's a great honor for me to start the webinar session. And I think I don't have broadly anything different to express than what you all know. But then having got a chance, I thought I would put it across in a small way. And there can be a detailed deliberation if needed on a later part of time. And today we are discussing about the higher education scenario post-COVID boons and banes. As Albert Einstein said, opportunities lies in difficulties. So we are all now coming out or trying to come out from this difficult situation, finding there are better opportunities. In spite, we have to pay lives to it, but then we have to come out with flying colors as it's a need of the hour. And there are a lot of hypotheses now coming out. Based on different thinking, different assumptions, people will come out with different solutions how to face post-COVID. Maybe in the field of industry, in the field of education, even in the field of a family planning, there will be a lot of hypotheses coming out. And a lot of literature now itself is available on different sites about post-COVID. It's all our assumptions, our different synopsis we'll be able to get through. And just on the first month of COVID, we would have seen a lot of projections and predictions from different people. Some astral projections, some astral predictions, some religious reasoning. And people have brought philosophy into it, science into it. But whatever said and done, we know what is the reality now. It has happened. So to be on a philosophical side, I feel when you cause damage, you have to pay for it. If your family is causing damage, your family has to pay for it. If your state, your community, your country, and your planet is causing damage to the earth, we have to pay all together. So now we are paying all together. The world around is paying for what damages we have done for the earth or for the humanity. People may differ on this, but this is philosophical. But end of the day, we'll understand this is purely because of the damages we have caused for this nature on a collective, as a collective effort. So now collectively we are paying. There is no difference between US and Coimbatore now. Everybody is wearing masks, everybody is quarantined, everybody is washing their hands with soap. All are equal now before a microorganism. All the science and technology, everything in front of mankind has become useless. That we are not able to fight on a microorganism, and that microorganism and we, the human beings, belong to 600 million different species on Earth. We are only one among that, one among the 600 million species. So what the science and technology tells us sometimes may not support us when we face a danger, when we face a calamity, when we face a pandemic. There are something more that the human beings have to do in terms of taking care of the nature, taking care of the neighborhood, and taking care of one's own self. Now we are at that point. We are trying to take care of our own self, self-protection, self-quarantine, self-cleanliness. So this has been a lesson for all of us. And this is not the first pandemic on Earth. In the last 100 years, we see this is the 8th pandemic. And every pandemic when we come out, that is becoming more and more virulent, more and more problematic, or it takes more time to cure itself. So again, predictions go that this may take about 2 years to come back to normal. ICMR sent a circular for next 2 years, don't travel outside. Even within India, avoid travels, because there are possibilities of this pandemic to recharge, like what we are seeing in Wuhan now. It is recharging. So end of the day, I basically would like to tell you or make my own confession. The more you become humanitarian within yourself, believing on values and working on values would support the world to maintain a balance. Otherwise, the balance of the world or the nature itself will be in problem. And now, what nature is trying to do? This is inevitable. The nature has to restructure. Like when we have a problem, we go to the doctor. When our vehicle is having a problem, we go to service the vehicle. When there is a problem for the nature, she has to do a cleansing for herself. That is what is happening now. And look at the positives, the boons now. In spite we are helpless, look at the bones. Now there is no air pollution, or it is minimized. Air pollution is minimized. Very less number of accidents. If you look at the surveys of the pre-COVID period, the death per accident per day over the world used to be much, much more than the death caused by this pandemic. No accident death, no heart attacks, very less in number, no air pollution. Ozone layer is intact. So the nature is getting redressed. Even though we have to pay for what we have done, the nature is getting redressed. You go to Delhi, the pollution rate is very, very less. We might have seen during the month of December, Jan, or November, December, Jan, Delhi stopped the vehicle from traveling because of the pollution. Now every part of the world is having very, very less pollution. The nature or the world is becoming a better place for the next generation to live, even for us. And people have more concern on others. Now, why we are sitting here? We are concerned about the community around us, the education community around us. We are trying to help others. Even though we are quarantined, we feel the world around us revolving on all of us. Around us, there are a lot of people. We are more concerned. What will happen to our children tomorrow? Will they lose their degree? Will they have any problems in their life? How are they going to face the next challenges to get a job, settle down in life? So this is a concern. This concern was not there till the COVID period has come into. We used to think of only our college, our student, our admission. Now the situation has changed. Now Prime Minister is talking to entire country, entire world. Every country leader is addressing the entire world, the humanity. So that word humanity has to come back when people come out of the shell of selfishness, talk to others about the welfare of the entire world. Now, if the world is asking, donate 100 rupees for the world welfare, I think everybody will contribute. So that is how the things are changing. So the self-containment and self-discrepancy means we have to do less sins and more virtues. It was the reverse. We used to do a lot of sins and less virtues. It's more philosophical, people may feel, but that's the reality. When you do more virtues, the virtues that we are doing now, the world around, everybody is bothered about somebody else's. That's a virtue. And this is the force, or this is the energy for all of us to come back to lives. Definitely some people will die, but if you look at the statistics, the number of people die around the world is much less than the general scenario of death across the world. Now we are naming it only under this pandemic. Otherwise, you take the entire census of death in the world and do a summation, we'll understand the death rate was much, much, much higher than the current scenario. So that is how we have to look at it. If somebody has to pay for it, fine. But then what is the learning? The learning is people have to be more virtuous. My very personal feeling, as a lot of people say, and you also know, when we go off from the earth, we will never take anything from this earth. We'll go freehand. We'll just burn our body. We don't take anything from here. So this is the time for everyone to realize that this planet is not something that we want to ourselves. This planet is there forever. Sometimes for a period of time, something will be written in our name as a document, nothing more. The same institution, the same earth, the same building for a period of time will be in our name. Then we'll vanish, somebody will come. Otherwise, things will be intact. So this is how it will go. Anyway, come back to the situation of education. Even though we say the people are separated, the countries are separated because of COVID, in education alone, the people are coming together. There is a convergence of ideas, there's a convergence of people, there's a convergence of thinking how to take the education forward for making the life of a lot of students better in this world. So yesterday you would have seen what our Prime Minister was talking to. 20 lakh crores for making India self-sufficient. So self-sufficiency is something now everybody will be looking for. See, even the colleges now will think of having some corpus funds, especially SF, self-financing colleges. Many colleges do not have corpus fund. Maybe 20 crore, 50 crore, 100 crores as a corpus fund, which could be used for addressing a pandemic situation. I think no college is having that. That is why we are now feeling it very difficult to make the salary payment. Because we always feel, okay, next semester fee will come, we'll take the fee and pay to the teachers. That is how we used to think. A very, very less number of colleges, they have corpus fund. Now we may think of having a corpus fund, and now we may have a plan B and C. If there is an exigency like this, how are we going to run the classes? How are we going to run the exams? So use of the digital platform will become the order of the day hereafter. So post-COVID, this will be one of the scenarios in the education sector, that one part of the education post-COVID also will be use of technology or digital platforms. All the colleges will very seriously focus on e-content development. And every college would have an e-learning website where everybody will be posting their content, updating that, and the students will use that e-learning website. They'll take the content. Then mode of examination, mode of interview, lot of international conference would change. That may go online. Now, when we think of an international conference, we invite an expert from the European countries or the US. First, we think of the flight charges and how to accommodate them. Now, I think this is no more required. Now, the people will never think of inviting somebody from US on a physical mode. We'll have the same technology and he'll speak from US and all of us will listen from India. No question of the shawl potra vela, bouquet kodukkuradhu edume irukadu. All will become virtual. So that is a boon of this situation. And educational technologists and leaders like us will be very seriously going behind this, and the platforms coming out. Now look at this, all the small vendors are also coming out with wonderful platforms like Zoom or Webcast or GoToMeeting or international conference platform. Lot of local vendors are coming out with platform. Maybe every cluster of colleges, maybe our association or PWCA may also think of creating a platform for only our college, our university people. So there will be a lot of technological upgradations or boons coming in front of us. And all the teachers, this is the most important part of it, all the teachers, including the language teachers, will be very serious about learning the technology. They have to learn digital technology. The order of the day will be the teachers without the digital knowledge, teachers without the ability to handle the technology will be obsolete. Children will not take them. And the moment I think of making an e-content, I think of animating that, I think of making that as a movie, I think of going for a professional voice recording, and all of us will think of making our e-content or videos into a world-class video. So this is going to happen. And end of the day, the children, even without coming to the college, the presence will be online. They'll say, my dear teacher, today I am not coming to your class. I'll be sitting at my home and listening to your lecture. Fantastic mode. So that has to be appreciated. The transportation cost, maybe this will come out. So we have to be very serious about skilling or scaling up the skills of all the teachers and administrators to this tune, that if a child is telling, today I am not able to come to the college physically, I'll be attending all my classes on a digital mode, we have to appreciate that. This is going to happen post-COVID, not only here, everywhere in this world. And education analytics will come into picture. Now, education analytics is not something that in our country we are looking at very seriously. In the West, education analytics is very important. So this will come into picture. For example, if I am doing a content sharing or I am doing an online class like this, my students or the people who are listening to me, they should say that I am good on a scientific scale. There should be different scale of rating. So that scale of rating should say, okay, this lecture is appreciated. If I am lecturing for 50 people or 500 people, 85% of the people should say this is good. So this will come into every aspect of teaching, learning, and examination. So education analytics will come into place, and networking is the best thing of the COVID time. And post-COVID, there'll be a lot of networking across the world, especially in the educational field. People will get interlinked. US, Coimbatore, UK, or any part of the world will be very sincerely sharing their expertise online, and we'll be able to make use of in all the classrooms. So this kind of webinars or seminars using digital platforms will make all the educational experts to come forward to share their expertise for the benefit of the students and for the benefit of the humanity. And better use of intellectual resources. The intellectual resources, anything that you feel, sometimes, see, had there not been COVID, I think I would not have spoken to you like this. So when there is someone ready to speak, there are people ready to listen to. Not necessarily that we should be quarantined. It will become a habit of all of us. Maybe on Sundays, every Sundays post-COVID, Dr. Ajit can think of 1 hour we'll share online, invite an expert from different universities of the world, from Oxford or Cambridge, ask them to address the principals of or the management members of Coimbatore or Bharatiya University 1 hour every week. So one Sunday or weekends, we spend 1 hour online. The intellectual inflow will be very, very huge. So that will be a boon post-COVID. And work from home has become an order of the day. That is what we are doing now. And there are different skill sets needed for work from home, especially in the field of technology. This we have to teach all our students. In the previous meeting, our Honorable VC was also telling, give some courses, short-term courses on artificial intelligence, robotics, and different courses using the new gametes, so that the students will be upskilled to work from home. Whatever he is doing, he can work from home. I was reading through some news from different CEOs of the companies. They gain on transport, they gain on food. The same quantity of work or same quantum of work is being discharged by an employee from home. More effective work is happening from home. So work from home will happen on a bigger way, provided people scale up in skilling. And government, when the next 20 lakh crore project is coming, there'll be a lot of money for educational content development and technology upskilling. I very sincerely feel that this will be one of the areas given a lot of emphasis by MHRD. But we can also apply and get some funds. And one more thing I would like to say at this point of time, when AJK College is having an expertise, Nehru Arts and Science College can use it. Same way, all the colleges in Coimbatore, they have different expertise. Why don't we share that expertise hereafter as well? There is a possibility of my children visiting AJK when they have an expert. Their expertise, I believe, is in catering science. And our students can look at their catering science department. Same way, somebody can think of PhD or PhD can think of somebody else. So this is how we can share the expertise. That can be something very positively looked at post-COVID. And outcome-based education will take a lead hereafter. People will go after outcome. End of the day, what is the outcome? What are the outcomes? What is that the child will be able to do after this? So this will get a lot of emphasis post-COVID. When we even think of having next board of studies meeting or syndicate meeting, any higher level meeting of decision-making body, give more emphasis on content development related to the syllabi. How to create a better syllabus where more focus is given on practicals and the outcomes of teaching learning process. And the entire world, right from education to the industry, will think of restructuring and remodeling of everything. We remodel things, we restructure things. And all these things are based on hypothesis. We can restructure and remodel based on our behavioral needs of the college, of the university, of the home. And every home should think of or will think of cutting expenses. Now the marriages will not be so having so celebration, especially in terms of, or I'm talking or trying to address the middle class and lower middle class or the down people. The upper class or the high class will never come into this picture. They may have a different thinking altogether. But then now when Diwali comes, we'll think, should we spend as lavish as before? Should we spend on this? So there'll be an economic problem. When come to Bains, I'll tell that. But then otherwise, by and large, we should have a restructuring to survive better. And I would like to reiterate the point that I've told in the beginning, that we have to look at this world with more a humanitarian eye. Otherwise, one day this will retaliate like this and the payment will be very huge. So having said 8 pandemics in last 100 years, next pandemic will be more virulent, more problematic, more life-taking if we do not understand a lesson from this, that a value-based life is very, very important. When we come to the Bains, loss of lives, every day we see the statistics right from US to our Coimbatore, number of cases increasing, number of deaths, how difficult the situations are, people are dying without food. So loss of life, loss of time, loss of finance, loss of jobs, and now everybody, including all of us, is learning a new lesson, crisis management. So crisis management on a pandemic. So this is going to be a lesson for all of us. And the focus from everybody, life must have more values and more virtues. So I believe that I have put across a very few points. You can ponder over it. And I personally believe that we should all look at this pandemic from a physical perspective and more on a philosophical perspective. And any pandemic, I would like to look at any such problem as a guest. Guests will come and go, and guests will never coexist with us. Guests will come, guests will go, and we live on and on. Humanity will live on and on. And thank you all very much for patiently listening to me. I thank Dr. Ajit and his team and all office bearers of PwC and the university.
I think now Subramania sir can give a vote of thanks. I would request all the principals to kindly continue in the session. Dr. Aniruddin, principal of Nehru College of Arts and Science, is going to talk on a very, very interesting topic. And a lot of other speakers are there for the next 6 days. I request everyone to come online at 10:30 every day, all the secretaries and the principals and faculty members. anyone who wants to give a talk, even secretaries, they can send a request to me, or the principals can contact me personally, and we will give them more sessions, because we want, as our syndicate member, Dr. Rammurthy sir said, and Dr. Deenadayalan Gandhi College, Vice Chancellor, Secretary, everyone has said that we should continue this. This should not end here, as we have got a huge pool of intellectuals within our colleges itself. We are calling experts from outside the area to talk to our teachers. So we will use our intellectuals, our learned principals, so that we would be able to share their experience and their real work time experience with us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone present here. I am very proud that I am Dr. B. Subramani, Principal, SNME College, co-convener of PWC. I am very proud to propose the vote of thanks for this wonderful series of webinar sessions which are going to happen continuously for a 2 weeks time. And first of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. P. Kaliraj, Vice Chancellor of Bardiyar University, among his busy schedule, accepting our invitation and interacting with all the principals and secretaries of various institutions and motivating us to thrive our force more. And now I would like to mention a point here. What are all the principals' expectations? What are all the principals wanted to do for the academic content? That everything is done by means of the association of ASF, ASM only. So my sincere thanks to all the members of ASF, ASM, the President, Dr. Ajit Kumar sir, our Secretary, Sedupati sir, Sri Bharat Kumar Jagamani sir, Secretary of SNME, and Sri Madan Senthil sir, and Treasurer Dr. Nityanandam sir, for all their driving forces makes us to act something on academic. So what we think, what we dream, everything is reality by only means of ASF, ASM, 100%. So our sincere thanks to all the members, ASF members, for driving the force in a very different way, and it is going to be an enlightening session continuously from all the principals sharing their expertise in different domains. That could be an highlighting points for all the listeners. And I would like to thank the patrons of the members, management members from various institutions who are all showing their interest and taking part in this webinar connect. And I would like to thank the PWC co-convener Dr. Deenadayalan for his felicitation, and our syndicate member Dr. Rammurthy sir for his felicitation address, and all the principals, those who are taking part in this and those who are going to give lecture on this. We will have a wonderful session. And finally, the staff members from various institutions. I am getting a feedback from various other institutions. It is a very good, unique of its kind. That is from one to many. So one principal addressing so many colleges and so many college staff members, departments. It is a great initiative done by ASF, ASM and the PWC. Thank you one and all for joining with us in this digital connect. Wish you all the best. Let us all hear from the expertise. So now I congratulate the principals, those who are ready to come and address all the institutions and staff members continuously. And I thank all the members, those who are supporting technically, and everyone. So thank you very much, one and all. Have a wonderful week, a series of webinar sessions. Thank you very much for the organizers and all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this vote of thanks, Dr. Subramani.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.